Columbus, Ohio, April 1st, 2006. A crowded bar with a name that stuck in memory, the Ugly Tuna Saloona. Inside, 27-year-old medical student Brian Shaffer enjoys a night out. Brian arrived with his friend Clint Florence after bar hopping. Later, friend Meredith Reed gave them a ride back to the Ugly Tuna around 1:15 a.m. They re-entered together, then separated inside. At 1:55 a.m., he appears on security footage outside the entrance, speaking with two young women. He waves, he turns, he walks back inside. He is never seen again. Not on the escalator camera that captured every other face leaving, not by the staff closing down the bar, not by a single witness on the street below. Brian Shaffer didn't just go missing. He seemed to evaporate from a building with only one monitored exit. This is the case that challenges physics, logic, and time. This is motive and method. Tonight we trace the steps, examine the maps, and follow the signal. We begin with the man behind the mystery. To understand a disappearance, we must understand the life that vanished. Brian was a second-year medical student at Ohio State. By all accounts, bright, funny, driven. But 3 weeks before he disappeared, his mother, Renee, died of cancer. Friends say grief settled over him like heavy weather. He loved Jimmy Buffett, and he talked about islands, sunlight, and starting over. Medical school pressure mounted. Was the smile that night a shield? Was he contemplating a reset no one expected? Or did someone else seize a vulnerable moment? The weight of a life is more than grades and white coats. It's the private storms we don't see. Detectives pulled every camera in the complex, escalator top and bottom, elevators, stairwells, the service corridor, the parking garage, and exterior street cams. They synchronized timestamps across systems, corrected clock drift, and reviewed frames from 1:45 to 2:30 a.m. in sequence and side by side. No confirmed image of Brian exiting. A service door led toward an active construction zone below. Investigators traced that route on foot and against the building plans. At night, the path meant rebar, open pits, and uneven floors, hazards mapped and flagged on a site diagram. Physical searches ran grid-style, the bar and adjacent structures, elevator shafts, roof spaces, dumpsters, stairwells, crawl spaces and drains, canine and cadaver dogs, then researched after later remodels. Scent dogs trailed to the escalator landing, and strongest at the bar's entrance, and near the service corridor door, the trace ended at that threshold. No carry to street or garage. Interviews logged with friends, bar staff, security, neighboring businesses and construction crews. Statements cross-checked. No arrests, no named suspect. The escalator camera was high resolution and continuous. Blind spots marked at the landing, along the railing and behind a column. No dropped frames in the raw archive. Chain of custody intact. Records work reached phone CDRs and tower data, bank and credit activity, hospitals and shelters, airlines and passport control. No confirmed use after that night. The timeline is tight, but the crucial frames remain missing. The months after brought stranger data. Brian's girlfriend Alexis called his phone nightly just to hear his voice. One night in September, the impossible. The phone rang 3 times. A ping hit a tower in Hilliard, 14 miles away. A live phone or a network ghost? Hope rose, then silence returned. No messages, no activity. Theories multiplied. A targeted attack. The smiley face killer. A disputed theory suggesting some late-night disappearances of college-age men end as drownings near graffiti of a smiley face. An accident in the construction site, sealed by debris. Or the most polarizing, a deliberate exit toward a distant shore. In true crime, we measure motive against method. Brian may have had a motive to leave, but did he have a method to disappear forever? Tonight, we hold these possibilities and we measure what's missing. Theories are weighed on evidence and feasibility. We proceed section by section, slow, deliberate, and grounded in the record. Theory 1, construction accident, night conditions, limited lighting, unsecured edges, exposed rebar, and open pits within an active work zone. The service corridor provided a route from the bar toward that area. A misstep into a void or shaft could evade immediate detection. Subsequent debris movement and concrete pours in the days or weeks after could entomb or displace remains. Searches, grid checks, K9 and cadaver dogs were repeated after later remodels. Results remained inconclusive. This remains a hypothesis. No confirmed forensic recovery has been reported. Theory 2, deliberate exit. Requirements include cash flow, transport, alternate clothing, housing, and communications. The record shows no bank or credit activity, no confirmed passport or airline use, and dormant email and social logins after that night. Some speculate about using the construction route to avoid cameras, yet sustaining a long-term disappearance without financial or digital traces presents obstacles. Context matters. Talk of islands and escape exists, but it is not proof of action. Theory 3, targeted harm, foul play. Scenarios range from an altercation to opportunistic crime or coercion. Evidence review notes no reported violence seen in the searched areas, no confirmed forensic hits, and no identified suspect tied to the events of that night. With uncertainties, investigators keep this lane open, but it remains uncorroborated. Theory 4, the smiley face killer. A disputed idea proposing some late-night disappearances of college-age men end as water recoveries near smiley face graffiti. Critics, including law enforcement and academics, cite selection bias, weak patterning, and lack of forensic linkage. In this case, despite surface similarities, there is no validated connection. Theory 5, misidentification or camera error. Frame-by-frame reviews and basic gate comparisons found no match to confirm an exit. Archive integrity checks reported no dropped frames or corruption. Blind spot geometry existed at the escalator landing, along the railing and behind a column, but coverage elsewhere was continuous. We returned to the yardstick. Motive weighed against method, and here method remains the missing piece. The service door linked the bar level to an active construction zone below. After hours, lighting was patchy. Walkways shifted with temporary barriers. Investigators traced this route on foot. Investigators compared the route to site plans. Exposed rebar, open shafts, stairwells without rails, uneven slabs, debris removal cycles, scheduled concrete pours on multi-level builds. If a fall occurred into a recess or form, a subsequent pour or backfill could seal evidence from surface checks. K9 scent was strongest at the entrance, strongest near the service corridor door, then ended at that threshold. The trail did not carry to the street. The trail did not carry to the garage. Searches ran grid-style during the original investigation and after remodels. Shafts searched, crawl spaces searched, drains searched. No confirmed forensic recovery followed. This hypothesis remains plausible because of the site's hazards, because of the evolving structure, yet it lacks direct proof. It stands beside other theories, measured by the same yardstick. Years kept moving. Brian's dad, Randy, searched, spoke, and held the line until he was gone, still without answers. Each April, friends gather, and an empty chair waits for the one who's missing. Time softens edges, not purpose. Somewhere, on a hard drive or in a memory, lives a detail that bridges the space between a doorway and a goodbye. Thank you for watching Motive and Method. If you have information about Brian Shaffer, please contact the Columbus Division of Police or your local authorities. Subscribe for more deep dives into the shadows of the human experience.